So I didn't have anything to match Main Street, but today I'm talking to you about the time that I worked Main Street East.
Know who that is.
So Main Street is divided into two separate parts. You got Main Street East and then Main Street West. Main Street West is the Emporium, which encompasses the entire left side of Main Street. And then you got Main Street East, and Main Street East is divided into three different parts. You got Main Street East Zone 1, Main Street East Zone 2, which is the confectionery, and then Main Street East Zone 3. So I worked Zone 1 and Zone 3. So let me tell you a little bit about both of them. So I wasn't food safety certified, so I unfortunately could not work in the confectionery, but I worked Zone 1. So Zone 1 is the, as soon as you go into Main Street, you got the little tiny cart right next to the train station. I can't remember if it's the other cart on the other side as well. I can't remember. So it's that cart. You got the little tiny store that has the Tsum Tsums and other random things. It has the Mary Poppins dress. That's where you exit the Mickey Mouse and Tinkerbell meet and greet. It's that store. Then you have the little store next to it, which is the Photopass Store. So the Photopass people are working there with the pictures, but then you're on register cashing people out for the pictures. And then you go over to the Chateau, I don't know. So that's the pin store, and that's the hat shop. So that little tiny store as well. So that is Zone 1. Zone 3 is the Dooney Bourke store, Pandora, and I think that's it. Oh, and the theater. So those are those three, and then Zone 1 is the other three. Like I said, the confectionery is separate, and then the Emporium is a completely separate area. So if you're stationed Main Street East, you could get Zone 1, the confectionery, or Zone 3. And then if you're strictly the Emporium, you're gonna get strictly the Emporium. Again, unless you're deployed, but that's a different story. So when I worked Zone 1, I think I worked there 2 or 3 times. And I can't remember if I worked there twice during the Halloween party, but I know I definitely worked there once. So, and it was awesome. Like, there was no one coming in the store. There was no one meeting Mickey or Tinkerbell. There was absolutely no one. So I stood outside the door, and what I did was I took a bunch of celebration buttons, and I typed, I'm celebrating Hocus Pocus. I'm celebrating Halloween. I'm celebrating candy. I'm celebrating pumpkins. Like, random little tiny stupid Halloween things. So I put them all in a cauldron that somehow I had, and I stood way far outside the door because there was a couple other people in the store, so I didn't need to be there. I think I was like door holder or something. I don't remember, but I literally stood outside watching the parade, the Halloween parade, and hey, happy Halloween, you're celebrating candy, you're celebrating candy corn, you're celebrating pumpkins. It was great. And then as far as Zone 3, I was Pandora, Dooney Bourke, and the theater. Now, it was fun, but it was also kind of aggravating because I had absolutely no clue what to do. If you were behind the Pandora register, you had to answer questions about Pandora, and you had to flip through the book several times to try to find the charm that they were buying. I actually almost knocked the tray over, so a bunch of beads went flying, and the Pandora manager was kind of mad at me. But the Pandora people are third party, while the which is they're in like an ivory color shirt and then a red skirt. Those are third party people. Those are specifically people that work for Pandora. The people that work in Main Street have the ivory colored shirt with the plaid skirt, which I'm showing right now. So that's all for merchandise of Main Street. You won't have a different costume. That is all for merchandise of Main Street. I know there was a manager at one point. I was like on the floor for Dooney Bourke and I had no idea what I was doing. So honestly, I went to, while I was working, I went to the, I think I just signed back in for my shift, or I was just signing out so I could go back and come back or something. I don't remember. But I went to the store where Tinkerbell and Mickey come out of, the meet and greet, and there's a bunch of pixie dust in there, so I took like handfuls and I was putting them in my hand, and I was standing outside the Dooney Bourke store and I was sprinkling all the little children with pixie dust. And my favorite was when they were in the strollers, because it just went everywhere in the stroller, and then they would pick it up and go, or like, where did it come from? So it was really cute. But anyway, I was on the floor one time for Dooney Bourke and the manager was just like, there's a person over there, I think you should help them. And I was like, yeah, no, like I don't know, I don't have keys, I can't answer any of this. So I kind of walked away because I didn't know what to do. But I was also EHH, so they understood that I had no idea what I'm doing and I was just kind of an extra body to man the cash register. So I literally stood outside and I was sprinkling people with pixie dust. And that was actually the shift that the Chicago Cubs, I think, they won the baseball Super Bowl or whatever it's not called. The baseball playoffs, they won the baseball playoffs. I don't remember, I don't know what it's called. I don't follow sports, but they had like the parade, so you had everybody lining up on Main Street for like 3 hours to watch these people come through in one teeny vehicle. So it was kind of crazy. So as I was done with my shift, I went in the utility door, I changed, and I left. So it was kind of crazy. So that's all I can answer for Main Street East. Main Street West, again, is the Emporium. That's that long, giant store that has everything. I did not work there. I had no intention of working there. Big stores like that stress me out, and I preferred a location where I could consistently switch places. I worked in Mouse Gear, I worked in World of Disney. Those places stressed me out, and I will talk about those in another video, but I had no intention of working in the Emporium, so I did not work there. I only worked Main Street East, and I would recommend it as a home location. I really enjoyed that location. But as far as that goes, that is it. That is all I have to say. If you guys have any questions, go ahead, let me know down below in the comments. I will try to answer them all for you. And that is it for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed and have a magical day. Bye.